When I trained as a coach 15 years ago, this wasn't in the conversation. However, I knew that it was missing and I knew that it had power. So the way that I was taught was very much about the boundaries of the coach and the client relationship. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely do have boundaries and ethics and codes of conduct and all of that. And yet, I knew that there was something that wasn't being clicked into that would have some great power to it and would supercharge everything. So the way that I was taught was all about the session. So everything was in this container of the session. And when the client left the session, it was for them to get on with. It was for them to figure it out, and then I would see them in the next session. However, what I would find sometimes is people would book with me like a series of sessions, and what would happen is they would leave the session with lots of motivation, lots of momentum. And then by the time the next session came around, so maybe a fortnight or a month later, it felt like we had to kind of crank things up again and go over old ground. And yes, with anything, there's often an element to that. You know, you're not just going to pick up where you left off because life is happening. But I figured out very quickly the power of the in-between moments. And that's why with all my sessions, I have accountability time. I have support. I give you my personal number. I'm on email, and we can speak as much as we need to during that period of time of working together. And what this does is it unlocks the momentum, the imperfect momentum. So the amount of voice notes or text that I get where somebody goes, I've been thinking, or this idea came to me, or I've been reflecting this morning on my walk and I feel like I need to do X, Y, and Z. Or I'm thinking this or I'm thinking that. What do you reckon? And so what happens, instead of if we were plotting it on a graph, the progress happens like this, and then it goes down, and then it happens like this. It has this lovely momentum. And when we feel that, I know when I feel that as the client as well as the coach, that's when we begin to make moves. If you were working on your physique, for example, if you go to the gym every single month, great, you're going to get some kind of results. But what if you went 3 times a week? What if you were in that constant pursuit of your goals? Let me know how that lands. And if you want info, send me a message.